What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we are bringing a triple bug team to the Halloween Cup. In yesterday's video we brought Crustle, Galvantula, and Quillfish, which did phenomenal for us, but in my last 3 sets of yesterday I ran triple bug and this team is actually amazing. This morning I ran it again as well and climbed even higher. Now what's great about this team is Crustle does so well against the Halloween Cup meta. On top of that, if you lose lead to something like, let's say, an Azumarill, and you safe swap into that Beedrill, which is an Azumarill counter, you are likely going to draw out the only counter to a Galvantula, like something like an Alolan Marowak. And what's great is we'll show in the battles today that if you lose lead to a Azumarill or Quillfish, you guys can flip that game around very, very easily because of the capability that Beedrill has with that Drill Run, which is a Community Day move from earlier in the year. It's very essential on the Beedrill here. If you win lead, you have so many hard covers for whatever they decide to swap in that you can really take control of the match. Alright, getting into the first battle here. Climbed up to 28-25 with this team, and it's so good. It's so good. So we have Crustle on the lead versus Azumarill. Bad matchup, right? We're going to go ahead and swap into that Beedrill, start chipping away the health right there of Azumarill, and here comes the Alolan Marowak. And what's great is you get to Drill Run so quickly, and this does about 80 to 90% of Alolan Marowak's health. On top of that, you don't have to shield. They're going to be throwing that Bone Club right away, and you do not need to shield that, which is great. But you got to also be counting the moves just in case it is a Shadow Ball, but they'll likely just throw the Bone Club, and you don't have to shield that. Now we can get to another Drill Run in time, just like that. Oh, it's so beautiful. And this is going to be doing super effective damage to the Alolan Marowak or getting double shields. It does super effective, which is great. And now what happens is we can come in with that Crustle and just do one Smackdown before they can even get off a charge move. So we're going to come in, do one Smackdown right here, take out the Alolan Marowak. Now the Azumarill is going to come back in, but what's very important is to swap as fast as possible to that Galvantula because we just cleared probably the only counter on the team to it. So here comes a Wormadam Trash, which is perfectly fine. Discharge is going to be doing a lot of neutral damage, but we actually don't have to win this matchup. What we need to do is get the final shield away from this Wormadam. So we're going to go ahead and throw the Discharge, does a lot of neutral damage right there, and we should be able to get to this next Discharge in time. This is going to be getting the shield from the Wormadam. There's no way they would let this through. And what we're going to see is that Crustle can beat an Azumarill, right? As long as there's no shields left, you can actually beat the Azumarill, which is great. And even in a one shield situation, you could actually probably beat it if you have shield advantage. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in with the Crustle, start farming down with Smackdown, and then Rock Slide and Smackdown does neutral damage to that Azumarill. And Azumarill's almost at full health, but look how we chipped away some health because of our safe swaps with Poison Jab and the Volt Switch. It was able to chip away enough health that we're actually going to be able to get to another Rock Slide right here and finish off the game. So we're going to go ahead and shield this Ice Beam, right? We have 2 shields still, so we got to start using them. So we're going to go ahead and shield. It's actually a Play Rough right there. But then we're going to be able to get to the Rock Slide in time, and that's going to be taking out an Azumarill. So that's going to be a good battle. And like I said, if you guys lose lead to Azumarill, this team can completely flip that around, and a lot of people are running Azumarill. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle. We still had 1 shield right there too, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and move into this next one here. I was having a big lag with these sets. When it comes to loading into the game, as you guys are going to see, it kind of jumps to go right away, and my game freezes. It's weird, but that's okay. So here we go. We have Azumarill on the lead again. We're going to go ahead and swap into that Beedrill, start getting ahead on energy. They decide to stay in, which tells me, like, what do they have in the back? They actually have a Mandibuzz, which is still okay for us, but the thing is we're not going to be able to apply pressure to shields and make them want to shield, right? Because X-Scissor does neutral damage and not a lot at that, right? Mandibuzz is a Dark Flying typing, which is extremely bulky and can take a lot of hits, but what we got to do is just spam X-Scissor right here and chunk as much health as we can, and then look to come in on our Crustle and farm down with Smackdown. So we're going for another X-Scissor right here. This is really solid to chip away the health there of the Mandibuzz, and now they're likely going to be throwing energy right here, which is completely fine. We got to let the Beedrill go down, and hopefully they don't have a Alolan Marowak in the back that hard counters our Galvantula or even Crustle. So we're going to go ahead and bring in the Crustle right here, start farming down. Once we see that Azumarill, we're going to do the same thing, swap right into the Galvantula, chip away the health of Azumarill right there. They actually have an Alolan Marowak, which is not good. So they had Azumarill versus Crustle, Mandibuzz versus Beedrill, and now Alolan Marowak versus Galvantula. You guys might be thinking, man, this game's got to be over. Nope. Nope, this team is too strong, so we're going to go ahead and not shield this right here. We're going to let it go because we got to trust in Crustle. So Bone Club's going to come through. It's not going to be enough to take us out. We're going to be able to get to one more discharge. No, we cannot. They still have 2 shields. We bring in the Crustle. We're going to put the team on our back right here. We farm down a Alolan Marowak. Crustle versus Azumarill. We're going to go ahead and go for X-Scissor right here. We have to shield bait. We have to get the shields here with X-Scissor. That is our only chance. We get 1 shield. But look at how much health that Azumarill has. This is due to the fast moves, again, from Galvantula and Beedrill. And we saw our opponent kind of guess what they're going to bring in, and they brought in the Mandibuzz a bit late, which the Poison Jab on the Beedrill was able to help us out right there. Another charge move coming through, completely fine. And again, we have to get a bait right here. That's the only way we can win this. Otherwise, it's a GG, and we're going to go ahead and go for the X-Scissor right here. This is not going to do a lot of damage if it lands, but hopefully we get that second shield. If we do, it's going to be a race to the Rock Slide. So we are going to be able to get to that Rock Slide in time and take out the Azumarill. So we had Crustle versus Azumarill, Galvantula versus Alolan Marowak, and Beedrill versus Mandibuzz, and we were still able to flip it around because of the dynamic that this team has. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle. Oh man, this team was so much fun to use. I was wanting to run it like all week, but I decided to make a video on it because it's just that good, and I want you guys to know how strong it is. So we're going to go ahead and lead with Crustle, and we are facing off against another Crustle. So in this matchup, we have to stay in, right? We can't swap to Beedrill. We can't swap to Galvantula. We got to stay in this matchup and just go for that X-Scissor if we can. So we're going to go ahead and go for the X-Scissor right here. This does neutral damage in the matchup, but not enough to KO. So if they're going to shield, I'll shield as well. So X-Scissor is going to be coming through. They actually don't shield, which is fine. So I'm going to go ahead and not shield myself. My backline is going to really rely on shields to hopefully win this matchup. So the X-Scissor comes through. We're both going to be smacked down. And then we're going to bring in the Galvantula. But we got to let the timer go down. We don't want them to choose a counter for us. So we have to wait until basically 1 and then choose Galvantula right here. And it's going to be a Victory Bell. So the other day I posted, actually I think yesterday I posted, don't bring Shadow Victory Bell if you're going to fight against me in Go Battle League because I'm going to have hard counters for you. Just because of how annoying Shadow Razor Leaf is, I really want to counter that, which is why I ran this team, and I tweeted after this because I have Beedrill now, so you're not going to be able to do anything. So we're going to go ahead and go for Lunge, but they actually swapped to the Azumarill. Right here. This is not going to do a lot of damage, but what's great, it's going to be lowering the attack, and then we're going to swap into our Beedrill. We're in a 1-shield situation. We basically can almost farm down right here. We're going to go ahead and shield the Ice Beam. Obviously, we don't want to get hit by that, but what's great is Beedrill extremely hard walls of Victory Bell. So we're going to go ahead and just go for the Drill Run right here. Once we have quite a bit of energy, I just want to basically get to a back-to-back just in case they decide to shield right here. But the Drill Run's going to be doing neutral damage. Hopefully it takes it out. It does take out the Azumarill, and the Victory Bell is going to come back in, and this is game over. Beedrill does so well against Shadow Victory Bell. There's really nothing it can do. We're just an extremely hard wall. And then, yeah, Razor Leaf damage isn't doing anything. We're going to go ahead and get to another X-Scissor right here. This is going to be enough to take out the Victory Bell, and that is going to be a good battle right there. Well played to my opponent. But yeah, I don't like Shadow Victory Bell. So let's go ahead and move into the next battle. Alright, we have Crustle on the lead versus Umbreon. Somewhat of a neutral matchup here. We got a lot of great answers for this Umbreon. We have X-Scissor and Lunge on our lineup for Crustle and Beedrill, and then Galvantula has that Lunge, so we're going to be doing super effective damage, which is completely fine. We're going to go ahead and go for the X-Scissor right here. Hopefully they don't shield, and hopefully we can just chip away health. That's what I really want to do right here, is just chip away the health, and then I'm going to go ahead and swap into Beedrill, because I'm guessing they may have a Alolan Marowak in the back. No, they have an Azumarill, and I'm like, why did they just bring in an Azumarill to my Beedrill? But hey, you know what? Maybe they misclicked, which we'll have to see later in the battle. But that's completely fine. We're going to be doing really well in this matchup, especially since we just landed a Drill Run. We're going to go ahead and shield the Ice Beam right here. I don't really need Switch Advantage back, but what I'm going to do is just try to get resources from this Azumarill. So hopefully I can get a shield right here from it. We're going to go for another Drill Run. It's going to be doing neutral damage and hopefully enough to take it out right here. Let's see. No, they decided to shield. Okay, so I can actually commit to the farm down right here, which is pretty good. So since they have 1 shield left, we can get a lot of energy right here. So I'm going to go ahead and shield the Ice Beam and completely farm down because I know I have X-Scissor for the Umbreon and I have potential Drill Run for whatever's in the back. It's going to be a Alolan Marowak, which means this Drill Run is going to be doing super effective damage, likely getting the shields here from the Alolan Marowak. And now hopefully I can get to another one in time. Ooh, no, it doesn't look like I can. One fast move away right there, which is unfortunate. We're going to go ahead and bring in the Crustle. They're going to be throwing their charge move right here. It could potentially be Shadow Ball. I wasn't actually counting how many fire spins, but it's just a Bone Club, and we'll likely see a swap. We do see a swap into the Umbreon, and I swap into Galvantula right here to soak the foul play. My Crustle, I think, can potentially close out this game for me as long as I keep it alive, and we're just going to bring in the Galvantula and look to try to do as much damage with Volt Switch as we can. Another charge move coming through foul play. I don't think this is going to be enough to KO, and I think I got in the third Volt Switch right there, so I'm going to be able to get a discharge off. So this discharge is going to be enough damage to take out the Umbreon. All shields are down, but sadly, Alolan Marowak is going to get one fire spin right here. But the thing is, we still have a lot of energy, so hopefully we can get to this Rock Slide in time. We can. Rock Slide is going to be doing massive damage to an Alolan Marowak right here, and it's not enough to take it out. It survives with literally 1 HP. 1 HP, and it gets off a charge move. It's a Bone Club. We don't go down, and we both KO each other at the same time. Really great battle right there, and well played to my opponent. All right, moving into the next battle. I think with that one, they probably meant to swap into a Alolan Marowak, which would have worked out better for me because of the double Drow Run from Beedrill. But we have a Crustle versus Crustle on the lead again. You guys are going to see this a lot. Basically, if you have something to absorb the charge move, you might want to look to swap on the X-Scissor. Either way, you're just going to go for that X-Scissor right away. I believe I shield right here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and shield. Just because this Crustle is a threat to my whole backline, I have to take it out with my own Crustle. We're going to go for the X-Scissor right here. It's going to do enough neutral damage to take it out if they decide not to shield, but they do decide to shield, which is fine. We're going to go ahead and farm down. Now, whatever's in the back, we're in a one-on-one situation with shields, and hopefully the Galvantula and Beedrill can handle them, and hopefully they don't have another Smackdown user. It's going to be Galvantula versus Galvantula. This is actually pretty solid, except for the fact that my game's freezing, and they get off the charge move while my game was frozen, which is kind of frustrating because if this is lunge, it's really devastating. But it's just a discharge, and they swap into a Alolan Marowak. So I make an error right there. I could have gone for back-to-back discharges and really gotten the shields and health of the Alolan Marowak, but they are actually going to be able to get a charge move off. It's going to be the Shadow Ball that's nearly going to take me out. I have to go for the X-Scissor right here. I didn't have enough time to get to the Drill Run. This should be getting the shield from the Alolan Marowak, but there's nothing my Galvantula can do right here. So we're going to go ahead and go for the discharge. And yeah, I think I definitely should have gone for back-to-back discharges to really apply pressure right there. Otherwise, there's nothing my Beedrill can do to the Alolan Marowak because they still have a shield, so I have to be able to get that away from them. So this is well played to my opponent. Good game, but we had a mirror-on-mirror fight on lead and the second Pokemon, but they just happened to have Alolan Marowak, and I had Beedrill, which is kind of, you know, the counter to that, which is totally fine. So good game, well played to my opponent. The Galvantula is going to come back in and take us out, and let's go ahead and move into the next battle. So this team, telling you guys, it was so much fun to run. Triple Bug. It was a team that I built before the Halloween Cup actually came out, just in theory, and it actually played out really well. Okay, so we have a Quillfish on the lead, something you guys will see. We're going to swap right away into the Beedrill. Again, here comes the Alolan Marowak, which is really what we're aiming to do, right? We want to draw out that hardest counter to our Galvantula and apply pressure with super effective damage because of Drill Run. So if this was a Mawile or if this was an Alolan Marowak, the Beedrill can handle it with Drill Run and apply a lot of pressure. Now we are going to go for the X-Scissor right here. Should have gone for the Drill Run, I think, in hindsight, but this should be getting the shield from the Alolan Marowak, which we do, and then they're just going to commit to the farm down right here. I can't get to the next X-Scissor in time. That would have been really clutch if I could have, but we're going to come back in with Crustle and hopefully just sneak in a fast move before they're ready to throw, but no, they're going to go ahead and throw. I'm going to risk it and call that this is just a Bone Club and not a Shadow Ball, and it is just a Bone Club, so we're going to be able to do one fast move right there and take it out. Now we're going to see that Quillfish come back in, but again, we're going to safe swap into the Galvantula with Shield Advantage, which is very ideal. We're going to go ahead and swap right now. We're going to chunk some health. And they're staying in, which tells me there's an Azumarill in the back or something extremely weak to Galvantula. Otherwise, they wouldn't stay in right here, right? This is a terrible matchup for them. So we're just going to start loading up on energy. They're staying in. I'm going to go ahead and throw right here. If they decide to shield, then there's definitely an Azumarill in the back. If they let it go, then we'll have to see. No, they let it go, and it's still an Azumarill, which is perfectly fine. This is what's great about this team, running basically in a double anti-Azumarill counter in the back, is that if you utilize Beedrill on the safe swap from a lead loss, you'll likely draw out that Alolan Marowak that they are running, which is going to be hard countering Galvantula as well, and then you can kind of close games with Galvantula. If you win lead, you can just do a lot of great stuff. So we're going to go ahead and swap into the Crustle right now and do a couple fast moves. They do decide to throw the Ice Beam, but we can safely shield that on our Crustle and take it out. So we lost lead to Quillfish right there, and we were still able to turn it around just because of how great that Beedrill is on the safe swap. And I believe that was... no, we got more battles. Okay, here we go. Moving into the next battle right here, we have Crustle on the lead versus Beedrill. Really solid matchup, absolutely devastating. They swap into Azumarill, we swap into Galvantula right here. This is what I mean by if you win lead like we just did right there, and we have hard covers in the back, it absolutely wrecks. So we have Ice Beam, we're going to go ahead and shield that, and then we're going to be building up to 2 discharges right here while counting the bubbles on the Azumarill. It's very important because if they decide to shield this discharge, we can throw another one right away, or just look to second shield ourselves and farm down. So they decided to let it go, which is completely fine. We'll likely see that Beedrill come back in, and we're going to be throwing the discharge right away on that Beedrill. It does a lot of neutral damage in the matchup. Hopefully we can start chipping away the shields as well, but they decide not to shield, which is fine. We did 50% of its health. They're going to have to throw energy right here, otherwise I'm going to get to another discharge, and we can't get to it in time, sadly. But I got to let this go, right? They still have 2 shields. I can come with Crustle right here and farm down with fast moves. So we're going to be coming in, smack down, and then hopefully whatever's in the back we can handle, and they swap into a Wigglytuff, which we can completely handle. We have Beedrill, but we're going to throw the Rock Slide first, just to get a shield away from them, because they should be shielding this. Wigglytuff is their last Pokemon, and then we're going to swap into that Beedrill and hard counter them, and that is going to be a good game. There's really nothing they can do right here. I can just fast move down. So GG's, very well played, and I believe that was the last one. Let's see. No, it wasn't. Oh, gosh, you guys are going to get me in the chat so bad, or down in the comments. All right, moving into the next battle. I forgot how many I posted today. So we have Crustle on the lead versus Azumarill. Again, we're going straight into that Beedrill. Again, this is what you guys got to do. We're chunking health. They swap in an Umbreon, which is actually really solid. We can flip this matchup now. So in some cases, when we see the Alolan Marowak come in, we want to get health and shields and then have shield advantage for Galvantula. In cases like this against Umbreon, we want to flip this because we have X-Scissor and we can get to it a bit quicker than Umbreon can get to the Foul Play. Plus, Foul Play isn't going to do a ton of damage to us, so we can kind of really throttle this matchup based on what they're doing. So they're going to go ahead and shield right there, which is fine. We're going to throw the next one right away. Again, this does super effective damage, and now we are in control of this matchup, and we can line up Galvantula versus the Azumarill right here. So we're going to go ahead and try to farm down. Now, Foul Play will not KO from this range. We're not going to shield right here. It's not going to KO. We're going to be able to survive and just fast move down. And whatever they decide to bring in, we have a charge move ready for it. Hopefully, we can hit hard with that Drill Run. It's going to be the Azumarill again coming back in. So we're going to go for the Drill Run right here. Does neutral damage in the matchup, and we successfully flipped this matchup and now can line up Galvantula to Azumarill and Crustle to whatever they have in the back. And hopefully it's something like an Alolan Marowak or another Galvantula so that we can just smack it down. Charge move now coming through, going to be Ice Beam. We don't need to shield right here. It's not going to be enough to take us out. We got to save that shield for that Crustle depending on what is in the back. And they are going to swap out into a Shift Tree actually, which is great because Lunge does super effective damage and is going to lower the attack. And then we can just swap into Crustle and basically smack down with the fast move right here and go for that X-Scissor, which is going to be doing super effective damage. Another charge move coming through. It's not going to do enough damage. We lowered the attack of the Shift Tree. Leaf Blade does not threaten our health right there, and we're going to be able to get to an X-Scissor in time and take out the Shift Tree right here. And then the Azumarill is very, very low. So even though we lost lead, again, you can still win these matchups with that Beedrill safe swap because you're either going to be getting health and shields from their counter, or you're going to be basically able to flip the matchup like we did with this Umbreon. And that was the last battle. I'm telling you, that's the last one. Come on, is it the last one? Yeah, it was the last one. Okay. So you guys are going to rip me apart in the comments. I already know it. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the team, and we're going to deep dive into one of the battles. All right, heading over to pvpoke.com where you guys can check out resources for rankings, team building, everything you guys need to know is here. So we are in the Great League Halloween Cup, which you guys can filter right there. You can go from all Pokemon, Premier Cup, Halloween Cup. And we're running the triple bug team, so Crustle, Galvantula, and Beedrill. So if we take a look at the rating, its overall coverage is B, bulk is D, safety and consistency is A. Now the bulk isn't too bad. As we saw today, what you really have to do is basically sacrifice the Beedrill if you lose lead to get shields and health away from the opponent, and then put your shields into that Galvantula or into that Crustle endgame to finish off for you. If we win lead, then it's definitely a huge advantage for us. Now looking at the breakdown of the X's and O's, we have a lot of great coverages. Like we have that Crustle on the lead for the Alolan Marowak. If we safe swap or we lose lead to Azumarill, we safe swap into that Beedrill. It can still put a lot of pressure on Alolan Marowak because of Drill Run, which is why we have that on the Beedrill. Plus it keeps the Galvantula away from it. Overall, this team is really solid. There's a few things that can beat this team up, that being basically like double Smackdown, which I personally haven't seen, but I've heard it's out there, which is going to be like a Shadow Tyranitar and a Crustle on the team. That would definitely give this team some trouble. Or even a Mawile is somewhat trouble, but you have some neutral matchups where you can hit Discharge for neutral, Volt Switch for neutral, Drill Run for super effective, and those Rock Slide or the Smackdown and Rock Slides actually add up against a Mawile. So it's somewhat manageable, and hopefully their backline that your Galvantula or Beedrill can beat. Overall, I think this team is very solid. It absolutely dominates when you win lead because you have great covers, and if you lose lead, you can really turn the match around and look to win endgame with Crustle or Galvantula, depending on what they have. Okay, moving into the battle breakdown section, we're going to talk through each decision that I made, why I made it, and we're actually going to take a look at the first battle that we had. We're up against a current rank 10 player as well, which is pretty cool. So we are actually losing lead in this matchup. It's going to be Crustle versus Azumarill. Right away, this is a bad matchup, right? Bubble's going to be doing super effective damage. We don't want to stay in this. But like I said, the goal is to then swap into a Beedrill, which does super effective damage to the Azumarill, and then they bring in the Alolan Marowak. And because you can get in like 2 or 3 poison jabs in before they swap in that Alolan Marowak, you can get to Drill Run so quickly. On top of that, if you're counting the charge moves there or the fast moves there from the Alolan Marowak, you know that this cannot be a Shadow Ball, it's just going to be a Bone Club, which you don't have to shield. That's what's great. You can survive by taking Bone Club damage and Fire Spin damage, and you're going to be able to get to 2 Drill Runs right here, which is really great. So we get 1 shield, and then you can get to the second. And this is because I have really good PvP IVs as well. I think that'll definitely help out, and because Beedrill had a community day, that is why I have a good one. And just like that, boom, we were able to get the Alolan Marowak low and get a shield. That is definitely very ideal because, again, Alolan Marowak is probably their only hard cover to our Galvantula. So we're going to bring back in the Crustle right here and get off 1 fast move to take it out. Now, in this situation right here, we do take it out, which is great. And then again, Azumarill is going to be coming in. We're staring in the top right to make sure it is Azumarill. And then we're going to swap right away to Galvantula. And again, what's great is getting in some chip fast move damage before they can swap out, because that really will help out the Crustle endgame. So as you can see, we got in a fast move right there. And then in comes a Wormadam Trash, which I'm really confused by. Maybe they should have brought that into my Beedrill potentially. That might have been a better call, but hey, you know, they decided to come in with a Alolan Marowak, which is really ideal for us. So we're going to be going for back-to-back discharges right here. Now I could potentially just commit to the farm down after getting the shield from my opponent right here. So I could shield right here and then look to fast move down, but I really just wanted to finish the game with Crustle because I think it can actually win this. So yeah, we could have shielded right there and could have fast moved down, and that would have probably been a better way to win, but Crustle is going to be able to smack down, and then I think I can actually win right here because Azumarill's health was chunked a little bit. We can go for back-to-back Rock Slides before Bubble can actually take us out. Because we have 2 shields, there's really nothing this Azumarill can do to us other than fast moves, and the Bubble doesn't do enough damage to take us out that quickly. So we're going to go ahead and shield right here. Now, if this was a Quillfish instead of Azumarill, I would have shielded the Galvantula right there because landing a discharge on a Quillfish is definitely more ideal. But we're going to be able to win right here with back-to-back Rock Slides while maintaining 1 extra shield, which is really awesome. So just like that, you guys can flip those matchups around. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this team. How are your guys' battles going, and are you guys enjoying? I genuinely want to know if you guys are enjoying the Halloween Cup. I personally think it's really awesome, and I would love to see different formats of this style in Go Battle League for us to play in. So like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.